There we go. There we go. We are live. We are live. Thank you all for coming on in. Appreciate that. Look at this. My shirt is disappearing. That's a cool effect. Welcome, everyone. I am late. Somebody said I'm late. I was at 9:01. Big apologies right there. Very late to the party. I'm going to start up all my other things. Thank you all for coming in. Thank you all. Let's get this going. I got 5 platforms going at once. Instagram's coming up right now. Let's make this happen. Okay. Let's do it. There we go. Hey, Trav. How are you? Everybody coming on in. Nice to see you again. Thanks for these videos, David. Absolutely. Hi, GPS. Hello, David. Thank you, everybody. I'm going to be showing you in a minute here the stocks. If you are on Instagram, you want to see what I'm about to show for just a brief period. I'm going to be looking at the actual charts and stuff, so we'll take a look momentarily. Just want to make sure everybody is in the house before we get started, okay? How are you? Doing well, doing well. Trying to get as many of the platforms running at the same time, hopefully to bring in more people. I am working my way into what I will call the Money GPS 3.0. I'm going to do a video about all the changes that I have made as well as all the changes I intend on making. I'm going to try to take this to the next level. It is very difficult to do so, particularly when they are, doing their business to this channel, but I'm going to get this channel past 300. That's my first goal, 300,000 subscribers. I hope that if you are a viewer, that you will subscribe. Okay, I really wish that. I think that would be just, there's so much good content that I'm planning on developing here, and I need your help, of course, to spread the word. At the same time, I want to do what you guys, like whatever you guys are asking for, I want to bring that to you, all right? I want to bring that to you. So you tell me what you need. What do you think of platinum as a precious metal? I've talked about this before. I think that it is a good precious metal. I do not think that it's as good as gold and silver generally. That's just the way I feel about it. But, you got to take what you can get from it, I think. I think that's what it comes down to. You can invest how you please and what you think is the right thing. But ultimately, you don't really know until the time comes. I hope that's not too much of a convoluted answer for you. I'm trying to get rid of this disappearing act here, but apparently that's going to stay. So if anyone's upset about that, hello on TikTok. Welcome on in. Hello, Instagram. We got a bunch of people coming on in. Thank you, thank you. All right. The VVIX has been up for a while, and the VIX popped higher earlier today, tapering in September. Yeah, that's what the idea is. We don't know, of course, what's going to come, but certainly I think it's something to watch because the VIX does kind of funny things, right? We know that. There are 91 people in the house right now. I want to thank you all for being here. Don't forget to hit that like button. We need to see those 24 likes already. Come on, guys. Come on. Let's bring them in. Let's signal to the algorithm that we want this to happen. We want this channel to hit that 300,000 mark so that people can get the truth. That's the only way it's going to happen. You don't have to share it with your brother and your sister, the people that don't want anything. They just got the ears closed and the eyes closed. We don't have to do that. We could simply hit the thumbs up button. We could share the videos within our, our communities and so on, and we can get the word out for this. There's a lot of people out there that are spreading information that is not accurate, and I am intending on bringing the most accurate information that I possibly can to the subscribers of the Money GPS, whether that is on YouTube, whether that is on TikTok or Instagram or anything else. We got somebody watching on YouTube simultaneously that they are on Instagram, so thank you very much for that. You got to hit that like button on the way in. Much appreciated. All right. Okay. Carolina. New break. Yeah, I was trying, but it didn't do any good. Look, I'm just ahead now. I'm not even floating shoulders in head. I'm just ahead. Need more volume? Can anybody hear me? I got this thing on loud, so can anybody hear me? I'd like to see a video of books you recommend to get informed about economics and related info. Yes, absolutely. I've been asked about this many times. So in the meantime, before I get that up, I used to have a link. What I would suggest is to read The Creature from Jekyll Island and read if you want. Okay, so Creature from Jekyll Island is just going to expand your mind beyond any other. You'll know more than pretty much everybody just by reading that book, just because people they go to Bloomberg, they go to CNBC, they're in, like, I find this very strange. The stock twits, Reddit, like if that's where you're getting your information from, oh my goodness, please don't. Volume is fine. I'm getting that on there. It's quiet on YouTube. Somebody says hear you fine. Sound is fine. Yeah, I'm not sure, guys. If you guys can't hear, volume is fine. Yeah, a bunch of people are saying it's fine, so I'm not sure. I can see the bricks through your t-shirt. Yes, I know. I don't know what's going on. This is a yellow shirt, so I guess it's blending in. What can I do? Yes, it's weird. A couple people are saying that it's low. I don't know. Let me see, guys. Hold on. Audio? Testing. 1, 2, 3. Is that any better, guys? Let me know if that's any better. What I just did, I just boosted it. Please let me know if that's any better on the volume. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Sound is low. Volume is fine. Can you guys let me know? Can you guys let me know if that made it any better? All right, TikTok. What have we got going on here? Thank you all for coming on in. If you're on TikTok, make sure to comment. Let me know what you think. What disappears as soon as you says its name? Sorry, I'm not sure what you mean by that. If you ask that question again, I could definitely respond to it. Instagram says I can hear you. Yeah, Instagram's good. It's just the YouTube that's having a problem. Volume is good now. It's pretty loud. Okay, good stuff. Okay, let's move on, guys. I want to show you what's going on in the stock market. Let's take a look at that. There's only 125 people in here today, and you get to get up close and personal. So let's do it. Let's do that. Let's go and take a look. Hope you guys can see this with me. If you're on TikTok, if you're on Instagram, and so on, if you join me on YouTube at The Money GPS, you'll be able to see this. I will only be on here for about 5 minutes just to give you a look. I will try to explain what I'm seeing over here. Essentially, what I'm looking at right now is the Dow Jones. The Dow Jones found support just around that 20-day moving average in the previous day. Like you can see right here, maybe if I can try to zoom in, hopefully you're seeing this. If I zoom in, you're going to be able to see that it found support right at that 20-day moving average. That's what it is, right? And it just that same pattern repeats. This is the NASDAQ, and what you're looking at is it found support around the 50-day moving average back on July 19th. And look, again, it's up. But the same trend has been happening over the past week or so. And that is, it's been basically flat. We haven't pushed through this. Now, in today's trading session, the market was odd at the beginning, but towards the end of the day, it became much stronger. I don't think that was a plunge protection team necessarily coming in. I don't think they had to in today's trading session, but certainly I think that's what's going on. But I definitely see this flatlining, and the same kind of pattern appeared in the week before, where actually started around, let's just say, somewhere around July 7th or so. And then things were of course, as you can see, coming down after that. So we're going to see if that weakness persists. Do you see these candles here? I don't know if you could see that. So these candles right in here, you notice how they're smaller. Like, for people don't know, when the price action is like this, when you see these small candles appearing, all of these basically mean that the rally is losing steam, or if it was falling down, it'd be the exact same thing. It's kind of losing steam. Now it can go higher from that point, it can go lower from that point, but it just shows you that it's kind of running out. Usually it happens in the case here where you see it falling down. But like I said, it's finding support at these moving averages. And as a trader, as a swing trader, or an investor looking to maybe the dollar cost average or so on, looking for a little bit of tweaks on that, you got to pay attention to this. I think that's important. One of the stocks that I found today that was interesting was Clorox, that just got absolutely pounded. But while it did move up from where it was at the absolute bottom, I mean, just look at this. It's hard to tell because the volume is covering up where it was, but it was somewhere around $181 in the previous trading session, and then it moved down to about 160. So in one day. And why? They come out with their earnings. They say inflationary pressures are hitting us hard. You got to pay attention to this. You on Instagram, you on TikTok, and especially you on my YouTube, my friends on YouTube. You got to know what's going on here, because all of these companies are experiencing inflationary pressures. The raw materials are in fact going up considerably, and that means what? Yes, they have to put that on to the customer. If the customer is now paying 10% more, 15% more, 20% more, that means they're going to buy that much less. So maybe they were being very liberal with certain products. They were using so much, hey, you know what, it's cheap. Well, suddenly that item isn't so cheap anymore, and now we got to cut back a little bit on those purchases. It won't necessarily take effect right away, but you see the disposable income disappearing. This is key because look at what's going on with the stimulus. The stimulus measures are so important because they are directly correlated to what people are able to spend at that given moment. You could look at the personal savings rate, that's directly correlated as well, and you look at the actual stimulus when it goes out, and then there are so many, like consumer confidence and all these different indicators that I show you on the channel. Have you heard of these things before? I'm sure if you're in the live right now, you probably have. You've seen them on my channel, but if not, come on in, hit that subscribe button, because I give you the news, tomorrow's news, before it's news. You see the mainstream and the alternative. The mainstream's talking about things a month later. The alternative is talking about it, the next few days later. I'm giving it to you like hot off the press. So you got to do so. You got to join up. Okay, you got to hit that subscribe. All right, guys. Look at this. We're gonna. Oh, let me touch on this super chat really quickly. I remember on Instagram you said something about portfolios. Thank you for the support, by the way. And so my question is, how do you have separate portfolios? Like, do you have a folder or a document that keeps track of when placing trades or no? You have separate accounts entirely. So if you have, like, for example, you have a Robinhood account. Okay, all of your long-term, I wouldn't do this, but all of your long-term investments you're going to do through your Robinhood account. And then maybe you've got your TD Ameritrade. And that TD Ameritrade, it's a separate account entirely, and you're going to do all of your swing trading through your TD Ameritrade. Or you're going to use TradingView. I have what I just showed you was TradingView. If you want to use it, you can use the link in the description, or you don't have to. That's TradingView. You can use that. You can link it to any one of your brokerages and so on. I just like TradingView because of how clean the interface is. I love it. But anyway, you can use whatever you want. So that's how I would separate it entirely. So when you're doing trades, you're putting them on completely separate, even separate platforms. It could be the same platform, but that might be a little bit difficult to do depending on the platform and so on. But that's what I mean by that. I hope that clarifies what I'm saying here. You want to definitely separate your portfolios, okay? So by the way, he was talking about essentially on my Instagram, here's the plug right here. What I'm looking at every single day is all of these different little aspects that I can't get into on the YouTube videos because that's the news, that's like the serious stuff. But I do point out other things. So I get into that on all these different things, and I cannot touch on it on a daily basis. So anyway, that's that. Hope you appreciated it, all right? Yeah, so Intel. Intel stock. I haven't looked at it recently. I do think it could be good. They did lose out when Apple basically said we're going to go our own way on this in this regard. They are undergoing problems because of the semiconductor shortage. There could be a swing trade in there. I'm not going to lie, it could be a swing trade. So keep an eye on it. I'll tell you that. Intel is a dinosaur? Yeah, I don't know. Are the pharmaceutical companies making money? Yeah. They make a lot. They make a lot. But that doesn't really matter anymore. It doesn't really matter anymore because you see the most bankrupt companies are the ones doing very well. So it's just crazy. Time for the Daily David. Thank you for coming on in. TradingView's accuracy is bar none. I use it. Others are off. It's got a great platform. I just love how clean that interface is. Just unbelievably clean. So I that alone is worth checking it out. But anyway, on Instagram, I tend to do long term, only do long term, and I do it on my Schwab account. Yeah, if you're only doing one way, you're gonna. It's okay to have that. But if you're doing separate things, like so this is the way that the average trader is. Okay, the average person is in the investor. Okay, I'm gonna buy this, and it's gonna go up this week. I'm gonna sell it at the end of the week. Oops, it went down. You know what? I'm a long term investor now. Is that the way to invest? No, it's not. Come on, guys. You don't do that. When you get into a trade, you already make the decision when you're going to sell it. Okay? That's the way it's supposed to work. If you're a trader, you decide when you buy when you're going to sell it. All right. Okay. The Fed's goal is to own it all, to be the lender and buyer of last resort. 100% agree. The infrastructure bill, yes, 2,000 pages. Yes, it is 2,700 pages the last time I checked it out. Crazy, crazy. Awesome. Thank you for the support. 10-year listener. 10-year listener, guys. Thank you. If the super rich have turned the U.S. economy into plutonymy, they don't really need the American class to produce and consume anymore. Won't they just reduce the population? Population reduction, of course, very important for them. There's only so much I can talk about on the platform, just to let you know. I used to talk about it much more. So because of the compartmentalization, it's difficult to put a blanket statement, okay? Because you've got your suits and ties, everybody that you've seen on the TV, whether you think they're on your side or not. Of course, we know they're not. But that's just one level. Then you could go up the levels, and then you go into the shadows, and you realize there's a whole different group there. Okay, we know that's absolutely a fact. I'm just a little cautious of what to say, but I understand what you're saying, and to a certain degree, I could agree with you, but for the time being, that doesn't seem to. It's all about a very slow, inch by inch process. It's not a quick overnight kind of thing. I hope that's enough for you. Apologies, just because of the nature of the platform, I can't get into too much detail, but I do appreciate that support there. Okay. TradingView is not a brokerage. They link to the brokerage. Okay, they have a bunch of links, but even though I use interactive brokers, I actually prefer to look inside TradingView, to be honest with you. Okay, we got a question from Instagram talking about Bitcoin hedging against inflation. There's been this talk about this, to be honest with you. Thank you for the question, by the way. I don't know why they would say that. I've heard that, but we have absolutely no history of that being the case. We don't know that it's going to be a hedge against inflation or not, because we haven't even made it through any sort of cycle with this. So we don't know. Could it be? Maybe, but I think it's more of a risk. It's very much a risk asset. So when risk on mentality is there, you're seeing the charge in all the cryptos. When risk off, you see people pulling back. Does that mean Bitcoin's not going to be here next year? No, not at all. I didn't say that. But certainly, I think there's pressures there that we need to be, quite frankly, we need to be aware of. And that all goes in line with how much people are willing to spend at that given moment. What are your favorite indicators on TradingView? So generally the favorite indicators that I have for anybody listening, stock trading, So it depends, of course. Are you going long term? Are you going short term? I would have the 20-day moving average and the 50-day moving average if I'm going to do swing trading, okay? So as a swing trader, I'm looking at 20 and 50-day. Then I'm also looking at, I tend to pull up the Bollinger Bands just to kind of see the trend, to give a good idea. I look at the MACD, the moving average convergence divergence. I look at the stochastic slow. I look at the stock RSI, and I look at the RSI. That's kind of like a good generalization, but there's more to that. There's much more to that, but those are some of the indicators that I like to use. Hope that was good for you here. All right. GPS, have you followed the Ripple SEC case? Will it set the precedent for crypto regulations? There's too much talk. To be honest, I just think there's too much talk about what's happening with Ripple and so on. Like 2017, there was this talk about Ripple is going to be the biggest thing in the world, and others were saying Ripple is going to take over the monetary system. Dollar is doomed. Ripple is the next thing. It's going to be the one world currency and so on. And look, here we are. Years later, it hasn't been what people expected it to be. Now, I don't know what the future of Ripple is, and the SEC. The SEC is they're nothing. They're nothing, quite frankly, to be honest with you. So I just don't know. I don't know enough about it, to be clear. Thank you for the support. Thank you. Always, anybody who donates, I appreciate that. Could crypto replace a stock market one day? Each company could have their own coin as their stock, no need for brokers or trading hours. There's a lot of speculation about what the future holds for different cryptocurrencies, and I think it is overblown personally, or we are way, way far out. Like, I get it, like there's the future, we should be investing in the future, we should look forward to the future, 100%. But we gotta be realistic. Like the majority of things that these cryptocurrencies are capable of, we're not even anywhere near there. We're all in this mode of, okay, eventually this could become the new monetary system. Eventually this could be this and that. But in the meantime, there's going to be maximum volatility. I don't think until these things are actually being used in daily transactions, and I'm talking about real daily transactions, people are using them to buy and sell. Right now, it doesn't make sense to buy and sell Bitcoin. Like, why would you take Bitcoin, go to the store and buy something with it, if your anticipation is that Bitcoin is going to be worth a lot more one day? Doesn't make sense, right? So until the day where you would be using any of these things as some sort of asset, I know Bitcoin has changed a lot from its initial, the white paper, Satoshi Nakamoto. But anyway, the point is, you got to understand what its actual function is. Is it being used anywhere near that? And what's going to happen in the future? I don't know. It's hard to tell. You're welcome. Hi, thank you for being here. TikTok, thank you. Instagram, thank you as well. Are you drinking tequila? That's funny. No, water. Mr. K-Man Vlogs in the house. Mr. K-Man Vlogs, let's get him over 1,000. Mr. K-Man, where are you? Comment on YouTube if you can. Cool. Thank you. Yeah, I like TradingView for customizing. Keep up the good work. You're great. Thanks, man. Yes, Instagram is fantastic. I've been posting on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and all these different things. And I've also been doing YouTube stories. Have you guys seen my YouTube stories at all? Over the past couple of days, I started including them there. So I post those videos on TikTok videos. I post them on Instagram stories, Facebook stories, and now on YouTube stories. If you have seen my YouTube stories, let me know. Let me know in the comment section. I guess it would be, am I here? Right there. Put them in the comment. I got to learn the backward here. One of these directions. YouTube stories, let me know if you got it. Let me know if you see them. Yes, I saw your YouTube stories. Thank you. All right, good. So people are seeing them. I'm going to include information everywhere that I can. Supposedly, doing YouTube stories helps to get new subscribers. So I'm going to continue to do that every single day. Remember to like the video. Yes, Shannon. Thank you, everybody. You got disappearing GPS today. Disappearing GPS. Look at that. Did not see your stories. Oh my goodness. Come on. All right. This guy doesn't know crypto. He's using 2017 talking points. Tell me. Macro mind? Tell me. Tell me where I'm wrong, please. So first of all, I don't know if you know my position on cryptocurrencies, so I wouldn't just put that out there. But anyway, I've not seen the stories. See, I wonder how this works. See, some people are seeing the stories. Well, why not? Why wouldn't you see my stories? I got to figure this algorithm out, guys, and I'm going to do it with your help. Okay, I need those thumbs up. I need the comments. I need your help on this, and I'm going to take this channel to 300, okay? 300,000, and we're going to do this. We're going to do this together. I'm going to defy the odds, okay? Through a shadow ban, I'm going to reprogram this algorithm. I'm going to do it, guys. Help me out. I appreciate that. Susan, awesome. Halfway through your book, really enjoying it. So much of this financial stuff goes right over my head, but determined to keep with it. Thank you for all you do. I appreciate that. Susan, thank you. The book is going to give you that fundamental knowledge. It's just really good for giving you a little bit of all this and that. Everything is fully documented. There are 222 references in that book, which I'm sure you've seen. I reference even if there's no need for it, I referenced it in there, okay? Like, I really went out of my way to make sure that every little piece is documented. There's a little postscript or subscripts or whatever they call it, all in there. So definitely read that, enjoy it, and if you can, pass the book on to somebody who you think would appreciate it. Thank you very much, Big Boss, for your support. GPS, Austrian School of Economics. Okay, I don't want to put myself in any box. I don't want to say that I'm with this or that. I've read multiple Austrian economics related books. I love the thought of sound money, of limited government, of, you are responsible for your own actions and this and that. I love all that. And it just makes a heck of a lot of sense. Just makes a heck of a lot of sense. I'll say that. So, like, in general, yeah, I agree with what they're saying. Just, I don't like to be boxed in just because oh yeah, well, if this guy's an Austrian, well, you're an Austrian, I don't know. Do I want to eat a schnitzel? Maybe. It's been a long time. All right, bye. Let's see. Okay, I'll answer this one first. Sip of the vodka first. No. Water. Always water. Hey, David, what do you think about psychedelics for therapeutic use and biotech companies such as Mind Medicine? I have never heard of them personally. I know that there are, like, the mushrooms are becoming a thing, possibly going to be legalized or for medicinal use. Could it be as big as the cannabis industry? I don't think so personally, but could it get some medicinal love towards it? Maybe from the governments. Yeah, they might enable that in some places, maybe on the state level in the United States. Will it be, federal level? I don't know. I think that'll take a big, it'll take a lot. It'll take a lot to get there. Get your money out of the banks. Instagram says, come to Clubhouse so we can discuss in small groups. Love when we did it. Thank you. I don't know if that was your same name on Clubhouse. I don't recognize that right now. But that was fun. We used to go live Clubhouse every day. We only had about, maybe 5-7 people show up in there, which was great. But unfortunately, not doing it anymore. GPS has always been transparent, just recognizing. Absolutely, thank you. Thank you for that. Shadowbang's so weird, never thought the internet would be like this. Yes, unfortunately. I try to do what I can. We're going to break through this, guys. You watch this channel going from 268 to 300, but I need you. I need those thumbs up on all the videos. Don't just do it today. Don't just do it tomorrow. I need you every single time, okay? We're going to do this. I'm going to put tons of content out there. I am posting like literally like 15, no, more than that. I had it written down. The amount, hang on a second here. So I think it's really important to actually talk about this. One, so there's like 12, yeah, there's like 12 unique pieces of content that then go out to up to like 7 different platforms, 8 different platforms. Like it's crazy how much content I am putting out there. So if you count all the pieces, it's like literally like 50 pieces of content every single day that is going out from the Money GPS. Still shadow banned though. It's fantastic. It's hilarious. But I'm gonna break through it. I'm determined. I'm getting there. I would love to have your help. I would love to have your support. So I appreciate that. Thank you for the support. Thank you. When will the commercial mortgage-backed securities finally implode? I am surprised today that it's still around. That nothing has really done poorly. I think that at this point there's a lot of trouble that has yet to surface. That's my interpretation of the situation. Investors right now, see the way I'll tell you what's going to happen here if you want to know specifically. Investors right now have massive risk appetite. The worse it is, the more of an appetite they have for it because they want that yield. That's why they're going away from the safe haven assets and they're turning towards the riskier and riskier bets. If in the event there's some sort of scare in the markets, you're going to see money flood out of those type of things going towards more of the safe haven. And by the way, I'm not even talking about gold necessarily. I'm talking about US dollar denominated garbage bonds. This is where the money will flow to first. Okay, so you'll see the demand for that, insatiable demand for US debt, and then you're going to see the problems appearing in something like commercial mortgage-backed securities. So I hope that's a good answer for you. Thank you very much for the support on there. Thank you. For our 401ks, how would you currently distribute your assets among bonds, T-notes, international stocks, domestic stocks, high, mid, low cap percentages of each? So I can't tell you what to do. I cannot give you financial advice, but what I would recommend is to read or at least listen to the audiobook version of Principles by Ray Dalio, as well as check out Money, Master the Game by Tony Robbins. And you might ask, well, why would I even read a financial book by Tony Robbins? Is that he did an interview with all of the most successful investors, including Ray Dalio, including Paul Tudor Jones, and many others. And then basically he asked them, what's your strategy? Dumb it down for me. And he puts it all in that book really succinctly. I am not telling you that you should do exactly what they do, but that will allow you to get some insight into some of the most successful investors of all time and what they have done. And then that'll give you some idea, okay? I can't give financial advice. Big Boss, thank you again for the support. It will implode when the Fed stops buying that trash. That's the thing though. So the Federal Reserve at today, like the amount they're buying today, it's still big enough to distort the market, no doubt, but they're not into the like trillions per day kind of time frame where they could very well get to. That's when you'll create confetti. So while all currencies do, of course, end up in confetti, right now we're not in that territory. They'll get there. They will get there. And the Federal Reserve will go in and out of this buying like 2018. 2018 was the signal. Anybody who denies what the Money GPS says, if they've actually watched the Money GPS, they would know specifically that 2018 told you. They started to reduce the money printing. They started to bring that down. What happened? What was the result of that? The markets were just trashed. They were just absolute garbage. And of course, shouldn't surprise anybody, right? We knew that. We already knew that. All right. Can you put the kittens up again for your YouTube? People get upset, by the way, the kittens. I've had multiple people say, do not put the kittens, I'm upset. So it's just for fun, guys. Like this live is just for fun. Let's have fun, right? Like, yeah, why not? Let's have a little bit of fun. All right. Yes, the comments. I agree with you. 50 blades. I didn't hear about that, but yes. All right. Inflation or deflation? Being asked inflation or deflation. I've talked about this before, and I do have a video. If you search in inflation, deflation, the Money GPS, you'll get a more of a description related to that. But what I would say is specifically that naturally right now we have a deflationary pull that's coming down, and it is being basically supplemented by stimulus measures and by QE measures. Now, what I believe will happen, and I think that it's very, very true, is that if you look at the QE, let's say QE runs out or they start tapering and so on, this can be essentially supplemented again by more helicopter money. So they can give everybody their universal basic income. They can do some sort of new thing we haven't seen before. There's even the possibility. I'm starting to warm up to the idea that they could. So a crisis happens. The Federal Reserve comes out with their central bank digital currency. They put that in a special account at the Fed, and now they're going to give you $1,000 a month. Here you go, $1,000 a month. Just sign on the dot right here, $1,000 a month directly from the Federal Reserve. Your friend, Jerome Powell. How does that sound? Would you accept it? $1,000 a month. Just got to agree to the terms and conditions. How does that sound? Let me know. Let me know in the, wait, where is it? There it is. Let me know in the comments. $1,000 a month, you sign on to the central bank digital currency willingly. How does that sound? What do you think? Do you think you know what I'm saying in here? Do you see what I'm saying in here? Please, let me know. Right in the comments. Crisis ensues. Federal Reserve comes out, central bank digital currency. They offer you on a silver platter a $1,000 or whatever it might be, $500, $1,500, $2,000, whatever. They offer you a bunch of money. Here you go. Let me know. Let's talk about it. Thank you for the support. The next black swan. Some have talked about China, but actually they started deleveraging. It was earlier this year. They started deleveraging, and that was a good thing for them to do, absolutely, because it was running too hot. I've always said that I believe that office and the retail is got to be the weakest place to be. Now, what's happening behind the scenes with all the derivatives and so on, I really don't know. But you can search for some of these commercial mortgage-backed securities. And like I said, like if interest rates rises just a bit and we start to get into a scare, and we start to get, the stock market tumbles, let's just say 20%, that could start scaring off investors from these other riskier assets, and more money starts to move into, US dollar denominated debt. So I think all of those cycles are important to be tracking. Terms, they can freeze your account at any time. Yes, absolutely. Do we really have a choice? What's the fine print? They can already freeze your accounts at any time. All they need is a crisis. Okay, I'm getting some requests for the cats. We have to wait till after the 1 hour mark, people. I know you want to see the cats. And there's people coming in for the first time and seeing kittens on the background. They're like, I thought it says the Money GPS. What is it? But I'm trying to reframe the Money GPS as tomorrow's news today, because I'm generally very, very quick on a lot of the information, covering information that people do not know about because they're listening to, I don't want to name names, they're listening to these finance channels which get into like the super basic stuff, and that's good, that's great, I know, I get it, but it's just not going to help you long term to know what CNBC and Bloomberg articles are just telling you. Like, for example, market comes down 1.5%. There's 5 articles on every single one of the main platforms telling you these are the reasons why you shouldn't worry about markets falling. Like it's straight up propaganda, and people should be upset about that. They shouldn't just, well, no, you should be upset about it, because actual journalism is supposed to be helping you out, and you're supposed to support that. Of course, on Instagram here, yes, terms and conditions. Yeah, we're asking about the CBDCs. Yes, exactly. And they're going to limit what you can use your money on. That's exactly true. Big Boss, thank you again for the support. They wouldn't give you an option. They'll just do it and tell you to sign up at the local institution, talk to the Fed coin, and if it happens, yeah, who knows, right? I don't know how they're going to do that, but I just think if a lot of people say no, I don't want to get on that. If you're in a crisis and you need that money, what are you going to do? You're going to sign on, right? You're absolutely going to sign on. TikTok, how are you? What do we got here? TikTok is asking questions. Thank you for that. No, the money has to come from somewhere. Eventually, we will pay. That's right. You will pay from somewhere. Whether it's through inflation, whether it's through taxation, you ultimately decide, right? All right. That's why we will never have a crash again. Like in the past, the Fed will be able to stop any crash and a buyer will come in and push the market higher. I actually think that you've never read any history books, financial history books. Have you? Don't answer that question. You don't have to answer that question. But I'm wondering if that's sarcasm. I'm questioning that. I'm starting to question your comments now. I've seen your comments many times before. And now I'm just that comment made me think that maybe this is all sarcasm. Not the same big boss. Oops. Are there two big bosses in here? What are the chances that two big bosses there are two big bosses in one Money GPS Live? Is that serious? That's funny. There's a lowercase big boss and an uppercase one. Well, welcome both of you. I appreciate your support for being here. We got 226 people in the house right now. Hit that thumbs up button. Even if you're on Instagram, don't think I don't see you. Don't think I don't see you on Instagram, TikTok, you too. Hit that thumbs up button. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. Let's do it. Let's get this algorithm going. Let's break through and let's bring the Money GPS to the 300,000 mark. And I will do my best to bring you the latest intel. I have sidelined one of my businesses to work more, even more, on the Money GPS over the last few months. You've seen all these changes. That doesn't come without extra time. That extra time, including like what I've done now with the live, has really sidelined one of my businesses that has basically been running on autopilot, and I'm doing this to try and break through this barrier, but it cannot be done by one single person. I need your help. The cat GPS, it's coming. T19 minutes to kittens, it's coming. Tell that to the depressed zombie markets of Japan over the past 30 years. Yes, Japan is in fact the example of a complete failure. There is no doubt about that. All right. Congress on vacation for several weeks while the eviction moratoriums expire. What could go wrong? They can always call in like an emergency thing and make it happen that way. I don't know what's going to happen with that. Some areas they extended as far as I'm aware, or they're trying to anyway. I wonder what's going to happen. I really do. It's questionable. A lot of people are. I assume that a lot of people are going to be sort of left out on the street. Whether it's going to be all like millions and millions, maybe not. But at some point, like, when's it going to stop? Is it just a permanent thing? A federal ban, like, permanently? So that people, like, I think eventually you'll have chaos. Because eventually you have a lot of landlords just selling. They just say, just take what you can get. Right now, just sell the place. And the prices have appreciated so much that even if you're going to take a lower price because you have an existing tenant in there who's maybe not moving, then they're willing to take the cut. They'll say, whatever, I'll sell it for 30% on their market. I've made so much money on this place. And then you start to have some serious issues in the real estate market. It's possible. Eviction moratorium extended. Is it on a federal level? Are you sure about that? I haven't checked today, so it could be. Thoughts on the Canadian market? It performed extremely poorly up until after the dip down in March 2020. And then after that, it skyrocketed. It performed extremely well. Why? What kind of Canadian companies are notable? Basically none. It's just pure funny money. In general, I wouldn't like many of the companies that are being purchased in Canada. Like Canada has one very good thing, and that is the fresh water. But as an investment, like if you're right now, I don't think, this is my opinion, I don't think people should be buying long-term stocks right now. I think you should be getting into swing trading, because when the market becomes real iffy, that's when you swing trade. Okay, I don't care if the market goes up or down. I'm just going to make money. And then when the market comes down by 30%, 40%, 50%, now I'm going to start buying long term. I'm going to look in those companies that are looking real attractive. But I'm not going to go buy a stock today and then go wait for it to go up even higher, and then I'm going to buy a little more, and then I'll buy a little more. No, you got to swing trade, and you're collecting all this cash as you're hopefully profiting, and then the day comes when the markets come down significantly and you say, you know what, I think the market's at fair value. I'm going to put some cash in there. Market starts coming up a bit more. Okay, I'm going to put more in there. That's how you should be doing it. And you should separate your accounts. Separate the money. You transfer the money from the swing trading account over to the long-term account, and you start buying up. That's the way it should be done. But do you ever hear about people talking like that? No, they just say buy, 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 buy. And people are going to be walking right into a brick wall. I'm not telling anybody not to buy stocks. If you like paper assets, you buy paper assets. But you got to know when the time is right to be trading in and out, and to be, in fact, holding on long term. It's just like, yeah. Anyone else playing the GPS drinking game? Drinks for Janet, kittens, buttons, shot of coffee for espresso. I promise we're going to have an espresso one day on the channel, all right? Maybe I'll do a daytime one. It's too late at night, but a daytime espresso, maybe that would be nice. Last week, the play was to buy Ethereum. Why swing in a market that operates 40 hours a week when you could trade crypto 24/7? Yeah, that's actually a problem. It makes it difficult to trade in the crypto markets. Because with the stock market, you go to bed, you wake up, okay, nothing's changed fundamentally. But in the crypto markets, who knows what happens, right? You wake up and suddenly things are down by 30%. I'd love to watch GPS and Johnny Bravo have a conversation. I saw that guy. Some people are asking me to get him on or whatever. I don't know. I've contacted a bunch of people. They don't reply. So buy and hold forever is the best strategy. So David Wong, you keep saying that. Tell me, what is the purpose of an asset? Why do you have an asset? That's very funny. This is very funny. Even if you buy just before a crash and hold for the long term, and you will still make tons of money. Paul, I wouldn't, like, I'm assuming you believe this, but you got to look at the history and realize that that's not the case. So look at, like, let me take a very quick example. You look at the NASDAQ. You bought at the bubble. You bought at the peak of the bubble. Is it higher today than it was then? Yes, it is. How long did it take to get back to the peak? 14 years. Are all the stocks that you bought at the peak of that bubble in existence 14 years later? No. Some people, well, I'll just buy the index or whatever. Well, you could do that. You could. Is it going to work out in your favor every time? Nope. You got to remember, when you're investing $1,000 or $100 or whatever, like a smaller percentage, it's a different story than when you've got your entire portfolio riding on this. People do very, they go all out. They lose a lot of money, and unfortunately, their lives are really affected. Their lives are really affected by it. That's all I'm going to say. But whenever there's a bear market, a lot of people. It's sad. It's sad to hear some of the stories. TikTok, what are you doing there? Give me a thumbs up. Ask a question. I'm paying attention to you too. Hedge funds buying up all the houses. Yeah, you got like BlackRock. You got Blackstone. It's crazy what they're doing. Jim Cramer in the house here came here for the truth. Thank you. Appreciate that. All right. You should view your shares as a permanent donation to the respective companies. That's right. That's right. I wonder how many people are going to be bag holders this time around because, of course, there's a very like people think like, oh, the retail traders are so smart these days, and the retail traders figured out the game, and now it's the reverse where the retail traders are leading and the hedge funds are behind. It's not like that, I assure you, and they're going to tear you up when the time comes. Are there going to be like people think hedge funds, rich guys that like steal wealth from people, and the retail trader gets screwed over by the hedge funds, and that's a thing on Reddit only. That's where that exists. That I don't want to say knowledge. That like stuff is on Reddit. That's not real. It's just Reddit. There's like the average hedge fund is going to go bankrupt. They're not good. They're not good at what they do. A lot of them lose a lot of money. People get fired. Businesses go down. Banks lose money as a result. The lenders, they're taking out debt. Apple, Google, Microsoft. Are you saying the company? Are you trying to suggest the companies? Wait, there we go. It worked for me. I was buying when everyone was fearful. Okay. Oh, here we go. I lost that chat. Home Depot. Are you just naming? No. So hold on, Paul. You make money when you sell, right? You're only making money when you sell. So you've appreciated, your assets have appreciated. You've bought all these companies, or are you saying that you bought? So you bought in the year 2000, right at the peak of the bubble, and you've been holding Home Depot stock. So you bought Home Depot stock in the year 2000, and you held Home Depot stock right through the financial crisis. You held it all the way till today. So you've seen your assets appreciate. That's what I'm gathering from this. Paul is right. We have the same strategy. I don't think that's a strategy. That's what I'm thinking. I think it's just kind of, these are good companies that people keep going back to. So I will also put my money in. It's like, what, like, I don't see how that's that wise. Like that money right there invested in your own business could be much more beneficial. As a stock investor, you have very, very few, what do you call it? Like you have very few tax advantages. You have like you have no control essentially. When you have your own business, it's a completely different story. So you're deciding where your capital is. Are you going to apply your capital to your own business, or are you going to apply that capital to somebody else's business? If you do into somebody else's business, you pay a higher tax when you're going to sell. And if you're not going to sell, like why work? Why have an asset? Why not just go and just retire today and just spend all your cash? I don't get it. But that's just me anyway. Reddit is where 14-year-olds and failures go to act smart. I know. I went there in January. I went on Reddit in January when AMC, GME, all these things, and I was very frightened. I think I went there 2 times, and I read through. I spent a little bit of time trying to figure out what's all this about, and it was frightening. It was frightening to see these people. Yeah, really bad. Correct. See, I'm not sure that this is a real. I think he's being sarcastic. I think it's actually sarcasm. So okay, good. Okay, so 2013 and held them. So you buy in 2013, you held them through. Yeah, so your portfolio has gone up probably, right? If you're holding those big companies, your portfolio has gone up. Like, what's the game plan? I just don't get what the like. I think people buy in thinking stocks always go up, stocks always go up. But like, what is the game plan? Like, are you selling them eventually? Are you planning on giving them to your children? Are you going to use that money to retire from? I'm just not sure. I'm just not sure. Like when people just say I'm going to buy and hold forever, not even Warren Buffett holds forever. So I just don't get it. How long do you expect interest rates to remain low? Inflation will hurt us bad. I do not know if inflation is, yeah, it's not transitory. We all know that. How long will it remain low? That's questionable. I don't know, but certainly I think that people um, you got to watch what the Federal Reserve does. You got to look at realistically the taper is going to start before interest rates rising. So I don't think we're going to get interest rates rising before December. That's my view of it. I don't think there's going to be even one increase before December. That's a purely speculation. That's a guess. Next year could be a different story. So they're going to let inflation run hot as possible. And I actually think there's going to be a period of time where inflation goes up on their statistics, It goes up, and then it actually starts to fall. And that's going to buy them time because it's going to go down a bit. TikTok, I'm watching you. Government should buy out the landlords who need help and turn them into affordable homes. I don't think you want the government to be your landlord. I can tell you that much. All right, could you please say hello? Shireen Shazia loves you. All right. Shireen Shazia, shout out. Sell from overappreciated assets into underappreciated assets. Problem is that everything except gold and silver is in a bubble today. That's the thing. Like, if you're wise about your portfolio, you readjust as the times go on. That's what determines a successful investor over an amateur investor over many decades. It's the ability to roll over a portfolio and essentially not just take a hit of 40%. Okay? Anybody who has bought after March of 2009 up until today, they have not seen what a violent stock market will do and what will happen to the current ETFs that you know today. As they are readjusted, you got to understand how that will impact your portfolio and the stocks that you purchase. Remember that the ETFs are surpassing the active investments, and you must understand the breakdown and how they build ETFs. Know that the next crisis is going to change a lot. It's going to change a lot. This is something that people aren't aware of because they don't have the time to look into this information. I don't blame them. I don't blame people for not knowing stuff. It's so difficult. I look into this hours and hours and hours and hours and hours a day, and I know this much. I know just a minuscule amount of the information that's out there, but I am determined, I am a student, and I am trying my best. Don't forget to hit that like button, everybody. Hit that like button. We have 235 likes. We got 273 people in the house right now, and over 3,000 people have joined us today. Instagram, I'm looking at you. TikTok, I'm looking at you. Hit that like button. We got to reprogram this algorithm. Help me out. We're going to get this channel to 300,000 subscribers. Let's do it. Yeah, I'm long. Great companies for life. All right. Good stuff. Great companies for life. I'm trying to find that. Does anybody know the ticker for Enron? I'm trying to find the Enron ticker, but I can't find it. I heard reverse repo. Oh yeah. Actually, I didn't check it today. Let's check it right now quickly. Repo. from the Fed. Let's see, did we go over $1 trillion? No, it went down again. $900 billion today, everybody. $900 billion. All right. What do you think might cause the next crisis, or can we just keep going up forever? Chaz, thank you for coming again. My thinking, the weakest link, whether or not that's going to actually be the deciding factor, is the commercial real estate. We're looking at retail, and you're looking at office. I think that is just like knowing the trend, knowing that businesses are not bringing back all of their people to the workplace. They're reducing the amount of real estate they have. I just don't understand how it can persist. We'll see. Cardano will go from $1.35 to a minimum $4 in the next 6 months or earlier. That is my only advice to all of you. Mark my words. Rod, I don't know. I mean, I don't have a crystal ball. If there's a big risk on jump again, that's going to find money will find its way into the crypto market. If they're going risk off, then you're definitely going to see more money leaving. Okay? It's going to be leaving before it comes back in. Not saying that it can't go up to that price range, but who knows? Man, great stuff. Thank you very much for the support. When do you think Canada will begin to introduce their version of the digital dollar? Yeah, I mean, we've heard them talking about it. Like, that's it at this point. They usually follow whatever the Federal Reserve says, so who knows? TikTok is asking, what are your thoughts on silver at this time? If you search gold, silver, the money GPS, you might be able to get a little bit out of that video that I've done. I've done a few last year, I believe. And essentially, gold, silver, precious metals, they do well when everything else fails. Like if I were to just condense it to one line, gold will rise when everything else fails, and then silver usually lags behind. Meaning, like in terms of time, lags behind, and then in terms of price appreciation, tends to go crazy. Chaz, you're welcome. The key is to know when your company is becoming a dinosaur, and then you get out at that time. I don't think that's a real strategy. It's not like that's not a strategy. Like if you're like I just don't get it. I don't know. I don't think that's a real comment. I mean, it can't be. Good to see you, but come on to Clubhouse. Chaz, you too. Thank you for coming in. Clubhouse was good times. Good times. All right, guys, we are over 1 hour. 1 hour. International business with digital yuan. Yeah, I don't think China's going to be doing that yet. They're still in the testing phase. I think they might roll that out domestically before anything gets done internationally. That's just a thought. All markets will crash in the next 3 to 6 weeks, as it was written into the narrative of the great reset of the fiat system. I don't know about that. I really don't. I can tell you that statistically things are very weak now. Like you got to understand how much stimulus has been put into the system and how fraudulent it has become. And people would just say, well, they just print more money. And that's because you haven't read the history. Like you don't understand the purpose of the Federal Reserve. People think the Federal Reserve is actually trying to stop a crisis from happening. And if you really think that, then I know specifically that you haven't read about the creation of the Federal Reserve. Stephen Van Meter. Yeah, I was asked about this guy, and I said I would contact him. I'll contact him for an interview if anybody wants to see that. Had a couple people mention it. So I'm a boring investor. I shop at Walmart, Amazon, Target, Home Depot, and I use Microsoft, so I buy their stocks. No hot stocks. Boring works great. Yeah, I mean that's if you want to do that. I mean, go ahead. You gotta just yeah. If that's what you want to do. Chris, hello to you too. Came here for the truth. Planning on oil. Oil could go much higher because of the tensions that are always there in the Middle East, but of course there's more now. Good stuff, guys. We are here an hour into this. Can you believe it? Let's keep it going. Let's hit that thumbs up button, everybody. Hit that thumbs up button. We'll go for a little bit longer. I need you to hit that thumbs up button. You too on Instagram. Don't forget that. TikTok, I'm looking at you. Yeah, Instagram, yes. I know that he's a fan of the deflationary thesis. We'll see. Only time will tell. It ain't what you don't know that gets you into trouble. It's what you know for sure that just ain't so. I am part of the Rothschild family. Awesome. Thank you for the support. And yes, I do agree with that. The Federal Reserve, that's why they exist. It's to make sure that there is a two-class system. People, they achieve wealth because their real estate prices rise, their house prices rise, their 401k rises, and then they get squashed. But the super wealthy, not affected by it. All right. Today in the stock market, what we're looking at, essentially what I talked about is how we have definite weakness. If you look at the Dow, S&P, the NASDAQ, I covered it earlier on in the live session. You see that it's kind of getting a little bit weak here. Today was definitely a stronger day, but it needs to definitely break higher than where it is right now. It absolutely could. What we need right now, what the market needs, is definitely more, a better signal of the infrastructure bill getting passed. That's what they want to see. They want to see more stimulus going out to people. They want to see a reverse of the moratoriums. They want to see an increase in the debt ceiling. So all of those things together is giving a little bit of hesitation right now. But if all those things go through, markets will go higher. The market is looking at it like this. The Federal Reserve is pumping in money. They're going to start tapering at some point, maybe, and that time might be talked about in September at the Federal Reserve meeting. So that right there is an important meeting for them. Jackson Hole, they'll be discussing. We'll get some intel around that time frame, and of course they might signal, yeah, we're going to start tapering by, they'll set a super small number, maybe $5 billion a month on the mortgage-backed security side as of December. Okay, they're going to signal it out way out, and that's kind of what they'll do. As a result of that, the market's going to look at that and think that, this is palatable. We can handle this, still have low interest rates and so on, and we'll see how tired the market cycle becomes. Nobody knows what's going to happen between now and then, but that's ultimately the direction, the course of the current market. So I'm just showing it to you based on all of the fundamentals. I use what I call the paratrooper trading strategy. And essentially, we're going 30,000 feet down to the ground, okay? Because you get that bird's eye view. Now, what am I doing? I am not investing based on, well, I shop at these businesses, so I buy them. That to me is not the way I look at it. I look at it the overall, overarching, the umbrella view, understanding what's happening. At the very top, what do we got? Do we have easy monetary policies? Do we have low interest rates? Do we have money printing? Are all central banks in the same zone as this? Because of course they could, affect each other. Okay. Then I decide, is that the case or not? Then I go down a level. What's happening generally in stock markets? Okay, stock markets have generally moved up. Okay, and I'm going to go to the US market, let's say. How are the US markets doing? Okay, they look bullish over this period of time. Got you. Okay, now I'm looking at which one has the most strength. Okay, or maybe which one is the most sort of poised to do better over this period. Great. Now I got an index to look at. Now I'm going to go further down. I'm going to see what sectors within that are doing well. Okay, good, good, good. I'm going to go down even further into the individual stocks, and then from there, I'm going to start, doing my picks from that point. I do not look at a stock based on some, arbitrary piece of information. I do what I call the paratrooper trading strategy, and that's essentially what it is. I will consistently talk about that, and I will be outputting hopefully a PDF on that. I have not had time to finish that, but I have something roughly done, and essentially that's what it is. Okay, hope that makes sense to you guys. Hope that was beneficial to you. Megaphone pattern on all indices, yeah. I came here for the truth because right now the world has gone insane. Yes, Alex, I do agree. Dollar rising, what's it rising against exactly? It's rising against its peers. Okay. Somebody's asking for the kittens. Okay, all right. Let's do it. Let's upset a few people. There we go. It's time for the kittens, everybody. That's when we get wild. We get wild in here. All right. Okay. Nothing can and should last forever. It's true. I'm no genius, but Walmart, Pepsi, Clorox, US Steel, and Exxon will be here in 100 years. That, I mean, you're saying that you put your money on it, so, but I don't think that, like, so what I'm saying to you, Paul, like, first of all, you do what you want with your money, absolutely. Don't listen to anybody. Make that decision for yourself, okay? If you look at these companies, they may very well be here in 100 years. There aren't too many companies that have been around 100 years. There are some. Will they be performing well in 100 years? Like, the capital that you put out should always have a purpose. Is it the maximum capital appreciation? Is it wealth preservation? Is it for tax advantages? Is it, anything? Like, you have to first define, what am I trying to accomplish with this capital? What am I trying to do? If you're the type of person who doesn't have the ability to start your own business, you're not going to apply that capital in yourself. So what are you going to do? You're going to start to put it in other businesses that you think are good. How you determine they're good or not, I think people should spend more time on that personally, because when the market cycles change, like, you never know what's going to happen. You want your money where it's going to perform, like in your sort of your risk part of your portfolio. Hopefully you've separated your portfolios so that you have a risk portfolio, a risk portion to the portfolio. And within that risk portion of the portfolio, you want to, of course, make sure that when the time comes, there's going to be a crash, there's going to be a deflation at some point, that you don't get stuck at the bottom, have your stock go sideways, or maybe it gets bought out, or maybe it can't withstand this, so it just kind of fades away over the next few years. Things like this could happen. So a lot of companies, they get divvied up, especially financial companies. They get divvied up. So, okay, the back office, we don't need that anymore. We don't need the trading desk, but we want to take sort of the assets under management for this particular company. Boom. That company doesn't really exist anymore. It just kind of got absorbed into one or two different companies. This occurs all the time in these mergers and acquisitions. People they don't realize that, but it's just the way it is. All right. Okay, here we go. Thoughts on how margin could be leveraged using overvalued stocks that is not propping up other markets outside of the stocks. I don't know. TikTok, thank you. I just don't know what to say about that. I mean, I know that the amount of margin in the markets today is the highest it's ever been before. That is never a good sign. It always peaks out at the time we have a peak in the markets. So is this the peak? Doesn't look like it yet, Markets are still going up. Easy money is there. But the more margin there is, the more leverage there is, the lower interest rates are, the more pain that is felt. So we're seeing the maximum of all that, so we can expect the maximum amount of pain to come. You got to understand, like people say, well, the Federal Reserve will just print money. Like, please take the time to learn about what the Federal Reserve is doing and understand the actions that they take. You got like 1913, there have been many crashes along the way. They have intervened all of that time frame. The intervention didn't start in 2008, 2009. That's not when they started intervening. They've been doing it for 100 years. You've got to know the patterns and understand what happens through the cycles, particularly at the bottom. At the bottom. You're welcome. Went and invested 40% of my paycheck at Walmart. Do you mean you bought stuff at Walmart? Like you bought prep stuff? I'm drinking a Pepsi right now. I think I'll buy some AMC to cheapen my $70, $60 for the earlier purchases. Yeah, a lot of people did buy that stock quite high. I mean, they believe that some squeeze is coming, and this is going to be, you know, something huge. But I don't understand why. I mean, maybe, could be. All right, we got a question coming in through TikTok. Thank you for this. How to benefit from the coming hyperinflation. So you got to look for assets. TikTok, you got to look for assets that are ultimately going to be a hedge against inflation. Okay, that's the key. Which ones historically? Well, I'll tell you generally a real asset. If you join up to my Instagram, my Twitter, my Facebook, one of those, you will see I have just in the last day or two, I posted what the real assets are. It's a really simple image you can look at. But essentially, I think that's the key. Real assets will do the best during hyperinflation. There's no doubt about that. Whether or not we enter an official hyperinflation, only time will tell. Okay, guys, I got 5 more minutes in here or so. Kitten GPS. All right. If anybody has any other questions, please let me know before I get out of here. I got to do the video of the day. I think it's huge to see some of the information I'll bring out tomorrow. But my goal for the channel here is to basically bring you tomorrow's news today, because all of those other platforms and all this alternative news and then the mainstream useless news, they are so delayed on all this information, but the Money GPS is bringing it to you. So I am on. Let me put the plug on here, right here. I am on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and all these different platforms, specifically creating things that are funny, that are interesting, that are much softer than what I would do on the YouTube, so that you can share them to family and friends so that they are aware of what's happening to some degree. They'll start following the Money GPS, and then hopefully they'll get in the cycle on their own. You don't have to do it, because I understand people don't want to share that. I'm going to be changing something on the Money GPS videos, thinking about it, where at the very beginning, you get the 30-second introduction where you just see my head, and then there's like these things that pop up. Where is it on the screen? Like in the side over here, you get like the 3 things of the day. I was thinking of actually putting the timestamps right in there, so that the people who they're coming in for the first time, maybe they kind of don't like what the first topic is, but they like the third topic, they can click in and they realize, hey, this is kind of interesting, and then they go watch the whole video, or maybe they subscribe, or maybe I come up later on in their searches or their home feed or whatever, and then they subscribe after. I'm trying my very best to go and bring this channel to the 300,000 mark, and I need your feedback. I need your help. I need this to actually happen, okay? We need to do this, guys. Thank you very much. Whether you're on TikTok, whether you're on Instagram, whether you're on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, all right? Silver costs more to pull to buy. I'm sorry, I don't understand. Silver costs more to pull than to buy. Somebody says, you're a headache waiting to happen. I'm not really sure what that means exactly, but I'm just going to take it as a compliment. Thank you. Thank you for that. You need to be at 3,000, 100,000 followers. Yes. Thank you, Chaz. Let's make it happen. 300K. Appreciate it, guys. You got to hit those thumbs up. Got to hit those thumbs up. 280 thumbs up in here. But we got to get that on the main channel. Make it happen. Janet. Yes, yes, yes. Hit that thumbs up. Let's do it. Let's do it. Somebody on Instagram said, glad to see you're on Instagram now and enjoying your videos on YouTube. Keep up the good work. I learned a lot and really appreciate it. Yes, absolutely. I'm doing all kinds of stuff. Remember to check out the stories on Instagram. Make sure to check out the posts as well. I got both of those going every single day. All right. If the long end of the yield curve keeps dropping, won't it flatten out the yield curve and signify a market crash? And has been the case in history. It is possible, but honestly, at this point, I believe anything. I really believe anything. Like, there's so much manipulation in the markets, and like even when the yield curve inversion was happening, they were saying like, isn't this a concern? Isn't it a concern? And the Federal Reserve was saying, oh no, well, because we're buying treasuries, that things look a little off, and so on. I don't know. Like, if you understand the way that the markets work, 2018 was the signal to you that they are absolutely messing up the whole system. As soon as they were pulling back so slow. Janet Yellen, the head of the Fed, was pulling back so slow. They signaled this thing from 2015 that they were going to start doing this. 2018, they're bringing down the balance sheet, increasing interest rates by just this minuscule amount, and the market wet themselves. The number one investment, the number one asset was underpants. It wasn't anything else. Underpants, fruit of the loom stock you should be buying. Who was that person? Paul, was it? Underpants, number one investment, okay? When the times get tough. So Scott, I think it is Scott. I don't discuss what I have, my personal assets. BTC, is it a good hedge? I don't think it's a hedge against inflation personally, but I think it's for people wanting to get out of the fiat, the Fed fiat dollar. See what we got here. I got a couple more minutes and then we're going to get out. I missed the unicorns. Yes, I was trying to find an image that had a unicorn, a kitten, and a rainbow in it all at once. I'll bring that. Where do you park your money if the prices of every asset look elevated relative to each other's assets? Yeah, so it's an interesting question. Like, if you look at the Ray Dalio all-weather portfolio, it just kind of gives you a little bit of insight as to what that all entails. If you believe that these governments will stay solvent, then a bond is something that could pay out, right? If you believe that. Now, of course, governments will go bankrupt, so that remains to be seen. But it just shows you that when there's dips, like look at the all-weather portfolio. It's just, let me see if I can do this way. Yeah. It is just up, 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 all the way. Now, I don't advise people to do anything with their money, but that's like just to give you the sort of mentality of the way it works. I think personally that people should have businesses. Why do I say businesses? Because a business, you have control over what happens. You have tax advantages. You may not pay any tax if you have a business. So you might apply that same, let's say $50,000 that you've got in that stock investing account, but you got control over what happens in that business. You can roll over inventory as much as you like. So that maybe you buy a lot of inventory today, and that is an expense so that you don't have to pay taxes this year, and then you worry about that into the next year if you're profiting off of that asset. Do you see how that works? But people, they just throw their money into the stock market because it's real easy, because they can click 2 buttons and it makes a lot of sense. Hey, let Bezos deal with it. I don't care, right? It's just really, I get it, like people are busy and stuff, but if you want to know the best place to park your capital, for many, many reasons, it is not the stock market. But having said that, I think that people should understand better about swing trading than they should about long-term investing. When have governments ever been profitable? Yes. Definitely never been profitable. They've been, I mean, they're going to go, some of them are just going to go completely bankrupt. So, all right. One heck of a crash, worse than 1929 and 2008. Historically, it's been worse every time. So it's very well possible. What's your opinion about the China's crackdowns on the online education sector? I don't know about that specifically, but I know they're doing a lot of cracking down right now, like with the tech stocks and so on. They did something else I was reading today. I read the headline of something. Just crazy how much of this crackdown's happening and the impact it's having on the stocks directly. On Instagram, asking the question about buy inventory due to future inflation. That's part of it as well. If anybody's been purchasing anything, like if you have a business or whatever, you know how it works. You're paying more for, like the manufacturing side is paying more for the raw materials, and if you're buying that product, you are paying more ultimately, and then on top of that, you got shipping cost increases and so on. So yeah, you buy it and hold, like if you're buying from overseas, you buy it, you hold it locally to hopefully reduce the amount of pay, the stuff you got to pay next year. But I'm talking about tax advantages specifically, because if you buy this year, you're incurring expenses this year, and so you may not have to pay tax. You understand how this works? December 31st comes around, and let's say, well, if you're a stock investor, you just never sell. But then what am I investing that for? Do I sell it when I'm 65 and I'm retiring and I'm going to live off the nest egg? Is that the strategy? Just build up as much as you can and then sell later, so you're just going to be taxed on an even bigger amount later? If anything, you do Roth IRA and you do the tax up front and then you let it appreciate. Isn't that what Peter Thiel did? He has a multi-billion-dollar Roth IRA. Talking about the $1,200 a month universal basic income, I think that it's going to have a lot of trouble getting passed right now. If there's a crisis, if there's an extreme crisis with like seriously high levels of unemployment, that would make it through much easier. At this time, probably not going to happen. They can get through a stimulus. They can put another stimulus through unemployment checks, but in terms of actual UBI, not quite yet. Ray Dalio's Zoom dot collector system. I've never heard of that. Never heard of it. All right. Is a crash coming? I wish I knew the answer. Really do. Would help a lot. But I think if you're swing trading, this is what I'm trying to tell people. Like if you're swing trading, you don't care if a crash is coming, because you're going to hold that stock for 2 days. And yes, it can come down, but you've already got either a mental stop loss or a hard stop loss in place. So you're gonna be okay with that, because you may only be in and out of 2 or 3 stocks at any given time. You're going to be able to manage it. That's how people should be investing today, in my opinion. That's my opinion. IRAs are useless because the currency value keeps inflating. Currency value? I think you mean it's depreciating. The currency is depreciating. Yeah, but your IRA, you can invest, if you have a self-directed IRA, you can be investing in basically anything. But that's it. Okay, everybody, I'm taking off. These videos, all these videos will be unlisted. If you want to see the live chat, maybe you got in late or whatever, go over to Instagram, or sorry, Twitter and Facebook. Twitter and my Facebook, they will remain there permanently, and you can check them out for yourself. Okay, Twitter, Facebook to get those. They'll be unlisted on YouTube, but you can still get to it if you have the link if you've been in before. I'm going to end the video there. I appreciate you. Coming in tomorrow, I'm going to have some really good stuff to check out. Make sure you click the subscribe and the notification bell, and make sure the notification bell says that remind me every time. I do not bring you spam and garbage and useless videos. I like to have a little bit of fun with the kittens and so on, but that's just a little silly thing. I bring you the news before it's the news, okay? Tomorrow's news today, and I hope you do appreciate that. Thank you very much. I am out of here. Take care, everyone.